My name is Sharon. Since I was 18, when I entered college, I started therapy, and that once led me from therapist to psychologist to psychotherapist to psychiatrist. I've done EMDR, I've done cognitive therapy, I've done group therapy. I have basically, I feel like, run the gamut, as well as medication. I really needed something or some kind of change, or else I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. A psychiatrist who I had been seeing a few years ago did mention ketamine to me, which seemed like a word that I had never heard of. But then recently, after reading a few articles in the New York Times and other publications, I had seen some really interesting articles and I was intrigued by it. And then I had researched and found Advanced Wellness and Pain. One of their doctors here spoke with me quite extensively, and that's what got me into here. And then once I was here, for my first initial ketamine treatment, all 3 doctors were in the room. And that was so profound to me because I do come from a family of physicians. I'm not saying I have a high standard, but in this day and age, I feel like doctors, it's very hard to have a conversation with them, let alone anyone, psychiatrists, psychologists, and so forth. They're just ready to hear your problem and then treat you. And move on to the next patient. Whereas these 3 doctors spent at least 45 minutes or over, and each of them are distinguished in their own right way and capacity and highly skilled, and I just was floored by that. And they were very honest, but very, very reassuring. So I never went into those treatments, obviously the first one is certainly a little nervous, but after that, I even with that being said, I knew I was in very good hands. The first one, I went in with, a trauma that had happened, and I wouldn't say after that first experience, I really felt a huge difference. I would say that I definitely touched upon it, and it was profound and helpful. But I would say it was after a few treatments that I really saw the benefit. A lot of it is positive, and even if it brings you to a darker place, you still end up at a very much more positive side and a clearer side and a much more content side. This by far exceeded any doctor, any therapy, and even my own family members who are doctors exceeded that, just because that they are in for your best interest, and they really are looking for you to get to the other side. My nightmares had stopped, PTSD, depression had lifted, anxiety. My children, my husband, they all noticed a huge change in me. I have been able to deal with the trauma or grief or whatever it might be, and I've been able to get to some resolution or some acceptance, and therefore it's brought me some calmness, and that's brought me to the other side. I still think of myself as a realist, but I used to be more the glass is half empty, whereas now I look at it, the glass is half full. So I kind of think, and again, in a realistic view, that's where my brain has changed. This really has been life-changing. No matter all the doctors that I've been to, all the specialists, this is the only thing that I have found that has worked.